We took a little breather there, and the machines didn't want to come back to work. Hey, these amazing technology has been holding up pretty good for 2 days, so we can't complain. So we're down to our last session here, folks, and we are going to start off this session, which is titled "Fostering Healthy Communities and Outdoor Rec for Locals." We can start off with a great success story from our neighbors over in Gallup, New Mexico, at the Silver Stallion Bikes and Coffee. And I believe we've got Mr. Sean Price with us this afternoon. So, Sean, welcome, and the floor is yours. Oh, hey, Sean, are you there?
Yeah, today my name is Sean Price. I'm here presenting on behalf of the Silver Stallion with Renee Hutchins, and I'll let her introduce herself and tell you.
Jag är Renee Hutchins, Venetia, Twitch eating Nishla, Belagana Bashis Chin, Chapahan Dashis J, Belagana Dashanella. Hi everyone, nice to meet you. I'll let Sean give an intro here to our topic.
Yeah, so we're presenting on behalf of the Silver Stallion, which is a 501c based in Gallup, but we also operate out of a like a mobile ice cream truck, a big blue truck, and we've been we're basically a mobile bike shop at the moment, and we've been kind of offering COVID relief throughout the Navajo Nation. This past summer, I think we serviced 428 bikes across maybe 6 or 7 communities on the Navajo Nation, and through that we were hired 5 to 6 local mechanics, including a professional bike mechanic named Myron Billy. I guess what that does is it serves our goal in Silver Stallion, which is to kind of grow the cycling community and also empower Dene youth through the bike, I guess you could say. Yeah. Yeah. I'm trying to see if can you guys all hear me?
Yeah, I can.
Yeah. Okay. Yeah. So through that, the Navajo or the Silver Stallion, we've helped fund a couple of NICA teams, including the Dene Composite team, which is based out of Chinle and run by Coach Vincent Salabai, and we've also supported the Hopi Composite team, which is run by Manny out of Hopi. With those programs, we got funding from both like New Mexico Outdoor Equity Fund. They really helped with the Mobile Rides Center and the Special Ed Outright Foundation fund, which helped a lot with both those all 3 NICA teams. We've also developed 3 kids ride groups. One in Gallup known as the Young Guns, which is a bunch of killer young kids just riding bikes and having a good time, which is pretty sweet. We've also held a couple of trail build days in Gallup at the bike park with those kids. Yeah, so that's about it. I guess so. Like right now, we're gonna go ahead and play a video. I'm not sure if you can kind of give me a screen share or a presentation. Let's see. Sweet, I got it, and I'll share this video, which is a video that we did in partnership with New Mexico Outdoor Equity Fund. And I'll play that for you guys.
I think we're missing the audio, Sean.
You guys got any of it? Can you guys hear it at all?
I can't hear it. I can see it though.
Let's see. Yeah, it's screen sharing, but it doesn't say anything about audio. Turn up the speakers a little bit, see if that helps.
Yeah, I don't know if we have to be a presenter or not to get the sound. 'Cause
Oh yeah, so none of it's playing at all. Huh.
visual, no sound, which is kind of the important part of the story. But
Yeah, yeah.
um,
I guess we can kind of like play through some of it, maybe talk about it again. Let's see.
Yeah, if you guys want to just talk through the video, the audio is really struggling on this end.
Okay.
This is
All right, let's see if this works. Yeah, so let's see. We just start somewhere right here. Yeah, so these are some of the bike repair days, and we actually like full disclosure, like a lot of the stuff that was shot with people without masks was prior to COVID, and we were kind of doing these like daily bike repair days, like in Black Mesa, out in Bocabito with Tom, and yeah, it was really cool. And I guess trying to think of yes, I guess one of the things we're trying to achieve with the Silver Stallion is I guess true equality and equity for the Navajo Nation and through the bike. And we're trying to, I guess, knock down those barriers. And those barriers can range from anything from like education to accessibility to bikes. And the biggest one being financial. Like, you see these bikes all over the place and you kind of wonder how people get their hands on them. And one of the things we want to do with the Silver Sign is empower these kids to actually like ride these bikes and experience that freedom. And I guess that oh man, yeah, really experience that freedom and that empowerment through the bike to really discover what they have in themselves, and also discover the land right in their back door. Yeah. Want to add anything, Renee?
yeah, I was just going to say that Sean mentioned the mission, is to develop this bike infrastructure across Navajo. And vision is really seeing that infrastructure being multifaceted, one that connects our people, our culture, and bikes and the land all together in this kind of holistic picture. And, with COVID last year, the Mobile Ride Center really became a central piece of our mission and carrying that out, because there is no bike shop on the res, and this is where that really fit that need. And being able to plug in, we were able to have some of these bike education, and coupled with free bike repairs across the nation. So this kept kids on bikes and moving during these times when just movement was very challenged during the last year, and still is. So we continue to keep the mobile ride center as a major hub to our mission and carrying out our goals for 2021. We hope to add onto this mobile ride center a huge education piece, and we partnered with Charlie Reifenberg, who's out of Blackstone Bicycle Works, which is in this video actually, and we're actually currently in the stages of developing an education program, kind of a train the trainers model, and we are a Park Tool certified bike shop, I guess you could say, and Park Tool is one of the leading leaders in the bike industry in terms of, I guess, not only in tools, but they've really made it their mission to bring education to different sites. And kind of where I come into this, my background is I have a master's in public health and I've worked in community-based initiatives, community health, and I'm also a mountain biker. But I always tell people that the way I situate myself in relation to the land is actually first as a Diné woman, and what that means is oftentimes I'm asked like how I got into cycling or mountain biking, and I always say that my story of biking really comes back to my relationship with the land, which was a relationship that I was born into. We oftentimes hear this saying that we are the land, and the land is us as Diné people, and even from an indigenous perspective, like seeing that the land is this concept of it's kind of a buzzword that's been going around in Indian country about rematurating the land, and rematurating the land really is this return back to Mother Earth, return back to balance, and return back to this reciprocity or mutuality with Mother Earth. And our entire mission in terms of what we do at the Silver Stallion is really this by Diné for Diné people. And as so many have talked over today and yesterday's presentations, as I've heard the words about community base and even in terms of just trail building, this purpose-built trails. And I would even add another layer to that of what purpose-built means, and what is at the heart of all this is really our people and the land. And when we invest in the youth, whether it's in terms of education, I'm also a mountain bike coach. I'm actually currently in Oregon right now at the moment, attending a UBI pro bike mechanic training to invest back in the youth. When you and we always say that our youth are sacred, and that is absolutely the truth. And I saw that in a few presentations. And when we see that we are investing in our youth, this really is investing in our economy for Navajo. So, John.
Yeah. So the video just wrapped up, so I'll stop sharing that. But yeah, back to the bicycle education. So we have actually Charlie Reifenberg, who came out from Chicago to kind of train a couple of us mechanics down here on the res. We met Charlie 2 years ago out in Chicago when we went to visit his a bicycle recyclery that he worked at. And he trained two of our mechanics who helped a lot with the repair days earlier or last summer, last fall. Fast forward to 2 months ago, he came to Gallup to help us kind of plan out a curriculum and also teach classes where he would empower myself and two other individuals to teach these mechanic classes and these bicycle mechanic classes in various locations across the reservation communities. That way, these kids they have that power and that knowledge to get their bikes up and running again. Because if you go to any house on a res, I'm guaranteeing you that there's a bike leaning up against a house that's rusted, and it's probably there because it has a flat tire, or just the individuals didn't know how to do proper maintenance. But if we teach these kids these skills and we empower them with these little tech skills, they can take it upon themselves to fix those bikes and get that bike off the wall and ride it and really experience that freedom and that the joy that they can find on a bike. So yeah, that's the plan with the bicycle education. Renee.
Yeah. So we, I think, expected some of our time to be absorbed by the video, which really had a lot to speak. But, really to summarize, for me is like one of the roles I play with Silver Stallion is I've an ambassador role with specialized bicycles and SRAM Rock Shocks, which are kind of huge entities in the bike industry. And I, grew up in Kayenta, Arizona, and my grandpa, my grandma were, we have family in the Monument Valley, Old Jaytail area, and they're a huge influence of my work and being really rooted in this, what I say our oral tradition and storytelling is. And in this role, as some of my ambassador roles, I'm often asked about what is land acknowledgement, or what does going beyond land acknowledgement look like in terms of bike events in general. They're, whether it's a bike race or just any kind of event that you're holding, and this goes outside of Navajo Nation, just kind of addressing and challenging those issues that we face in the greater scheme of things as Indigenous people, and what we call Indigenous erasure or invisibility, and how our narratives have really been erased so much in the area of public lands and the outdoor recreation industry in general. And so I do a lot of writing, also part-time on kind of freelance and film, but mostly really looking at storytelling as a way to change and shift this narrative and discourse in this area of outdoor recreation, and seeing that all these initiatives that we're doing on Navajo are seen within a context of a cultural landscape, even in interfacing with policy, because there's so many times that when we hear the word public lands, this a lot of times can be attached to policy implication or voting on legislation. And I did a lot of work for some time in federal policy at the federal level, but also at the state level as well. And seeing how that what we're doing in terms of creating models really, and raising the bar in terms of how to engage with Native people, not only on Navajo Nation, but across North America. And like I said, being responsible to have public lands in these outdoor recreation conversations center and include Indigenous voices. I don't know. Can you guys hear me?
But I think.
Did you lose me for a second?
No, you were there.
Okay, it said my audio was unstable, and I didn't want to be the only one talking by myself. But anyway, so that's kind of where I come in, is really coming in with that community organizing and public relations and partnerships, and really mobilizing the right people to push for change, and really coming back to benefiting our communities across Navajo.
Yeah, with that we'll wrap up.
Yeah, thank you.
Yeah. Okay. Yeah. Cool. Thanks. Thanks, Tom.
Awesome. Thank you guys. Thanks for sharing, man. That was awesome story. Sorry the video glitches, but hey, it happens. So cool. We'll stick around. We got some three more presenters taking us up to about 4 o'clock. So that is the Silver Stallion Bicycles and Coffee out of Gallup. So yeah, guys. All right. Up next is going to be a presenter from Coconino County. And this is going to be Mr. Steve Mongrain from Page, Arizona. And then after that, we're going to hear from Claudia Jackson and then Raiji. By the way, we do have winners. Shauna Du Bois won the Shiprock question. The two last live winners of Shiprock are Kyle Sumatskuku and Caroline Sequaptawa. So those two were the answers to that question. So congratulations, Shauna. And hopefully we'll see you all at Shiprock, at least virtually this year, hopefully maybe live, but definitely live in 2022, right? All right. So Steve Mongrain from Coconino County Parks and Rec. Steve, you are up. Not connecting with Steve here. Should we go with Claudia's video? or Raiji? You want to go? Oh, Claudia. All right, we're going to jump over to Claudia Jackson and the Sahasan Bike Project. So check this out. Amazing lady, great group of folks doing cool stuff. So after Claudia, then we'll see if we can connect with Steve. And then the final presenter in this session is going to be Raiji BK of the Navajo Parks Race Series. Yeah.
Yat she yat na jinin shlaki ani bashichin to the jini deshinal hanagani deshiche ada twahatlete ai yesinasha. Hello, my name is Claudia Jackson and I'm from Indian Wells, Arizona, located within the southwest region of the Navajo Nation. The past 9 years, I've been working with communities on bike projects ranging from bike rides, bike educations, bike maintenance and repairs, leading me to creating Sahasan Bike Project. This became the journey of my life. My passion for service to others came in providing a tool needed within our communities, the bicycle. While working on this project, the wheels began to turn in sync with the Navajo wellness model, emphasizing the 4 core values of self-care, family health, healthy communities, and healthy environments. I'll go over the ways the bike has helped create healthy communities in our region. The case, the first step in fostering healthy communities, led to the purpose of our bike project. It was to help communities engage and empower youth in cultural and wellness activities as a way of building resilience. Building resilience from the seat of a bike has led to positive youth development focused on building strengths rather than addressing risks. Sahasan Bike Project began with a partnership of our local council delegate in 2012. At the time, we were experiencing a wave of suicide among our youth. We decided to use the bike as a tool to build resilience. As we rode through several communities, our health programs were essential in bringing awareness of preventions, not just suicide prevention, but preventions of domestic violence and other unhealthy relationships. At the same time, it was just as important to play healthy games for healthy interactions among our young adults. After addressing the need in our communities as building resilience, we moved to the next step, Nahata. During our planning, we focused on how to reach out to our youth. We focused on forming relationships and getting to know the youth and discovering their interests. Youth are often curious and eager to know more about what is being addressed. And in this case, it was getting on a bicycle and riding through the res. Not just riding, but activities on life skills from the seat of a bike were planned. Oh, did they have questions? And to address the safety of riding, we developed partnerships with health programs, local chapter houses, law enforcement, and medical teams. Through this effort, our partners are able to provide prevention education on topics ranging from bullying, healthy games, traditional knowledge of food and lifestyle, and inviting faith-based entities to share their knowledge. Through this planning process, the youth often ask, how is the bike used as a tool for healthy living? One major skill we teach is knowing your bike is knowing yourself. When you know what the parts of the bike can do for you, understand that you are also learning the parts within yourself that builds confidence and self-esteem, and that brings your strengths and power out. We are then creating positive changes that lead to positive behaviors. The third step is bringing the case and Nahata together, resulting in Adili, just do it. Youth or anyone in general can develop self-worth and a sense of competence by having a voice at the table to contribute their ideas and take leadership roles. It builds skills in planning, collaboration, self-determination, and leadership. One activity we do is give a youth or an adult the responsibility of providing safety tips before a ride. They go over the importance of wearing a helmet and how it keeps your brain intact. Have a water bottle or water pack at all times because staying hydrated keeps your body moving, and we all know water is life. Another must activity before a ride is knowing your ABCDE. Kids love to volunteer for this one. A is for air. Be sure you have enough air in your tires and check for any damage to tire tread and sidewall. Replace tire if they're worn. Just as in life, taking a breath means another day of living to ride your bike. B is for brakes. Look to see that your brake pads are not worn. As in life, we need to stop and check how worn we are. Remember, it is okay to take a day off for your mental health. C is for chain. The chain can be the heart of the bike. Always check that the chain is clean and lubricated. A rusty chain drags, changes gear poorly, and may even snap. As in life, when we don't take the time to rest and rejuvenate, we begin to drag, making us not think straight, which can make us snap at others. D is for derailleur. The device that moves the chain between gears is straight and clears your spokes effortlessly. In life, our derailleurs are what we put in between our ears. Keep it clear, clean, and simple. You will shift through life effortlessly. A few bumps here and there, but you'll learn to adjust accordingly. E is for everything else from hydration, tools, correct clothing, and most importantly, snacks. That is what keeps us energized while out on the trail. The last step, bringing it full circle, Beinetsilto, the growth of what we learned thus far. Our participants were more likely to participate in activities that are meaningful to their lives. They were interested in developing real-world skills and having experiences that broaden their horizons, build inner strength, and teach life skills. This is the part where we found our name, Sihasen Bike Project, building life skills from a bike. Our growth 9 years later has increased our participation. We have more families joining our community rides, more girls and moms on bikes. Then this has created a bike team participating in the Nika League and our local team Sihasen participating in bike series throughout Arizona. And with the high demand of maintenance and repairs, we started an education piece of our project. With the help of supporters, we gained a utility trailer that will become our education on wheels, building on our Build a Bike project. And lastly, we have grown to opening our own mini bike shop here in Indian Wells. Who knew riding our bikes through the hottest part of the year, July, would be so much fun and encouraging more folks in experiencing riding their bikes through our beautiful Denebikeya. And as we say, oh, the places your bike will take you. In closing, through the years, we've grown a family bike community with partners from our tribal health programs, local leadership, youth programs, law enforcement, medical teams, and through grants from local organizations and supporters from all over. We thank our biggest supporters, Project Bike Love, whose mission is to positively impact women's lives one pedal stroke at a time, and Intech granting us our Build a Bike project. And to everyone that has offered support from funding, food, housing, and clothing. This project is not possible without you. We are definitely fostering healthy communities from the seat of a bicycle. Thank you for your time.
Thank you, Claudia Jackson with Sehasen. And my name is Raiji BK, so I'm just going to do a brief introduction. Raiji BK in Chia. Kilchini and Shlonk Ash Epashichin, Nazani Tashache, Hanatni Tashanella, Arok Abijibinaskla Tenasha. And that was just a brief introduction about my clans. And I come from Cove, Arizona. And that's just close to the state line over by Red Valley and Arizona and New Mexico state line. I will be presenting with the Navajo Parks Race Series events. And I'm going to talk about a few of them and then show 2 videos that we have that involves with the race series. One created by Cody Slim and another one created by the Navajo YES team. And so we wanted to, we have 9 events in the Navajo Nation that was created back in 2015. When it began, it was close to the Window Rock area, and now this kind of expanded through the whole reservation. So we have 9 events consistent throughout the year, and they all involved community involvement and volunteerism. So we have park staff with the Navajo Parks and Recreation. Martin Begay was here, and he helps us with all the foundations to get where we're at, and he helps with all the parks, and he tries to be there as much as he can. So with the 9 events that we have 3 ultra events that consist of the Monument Valley Ultra, and that has 3 main events, and that is the 50 miler, 50K, and the half marathon. the half marathon is not an ultra. Yeah, an ultra is where it have to be 26.2 miles above that, and that would be the ultra standard. So MV Ultra has that event, and that begins in March. But our very first event starts in LCR, which is the Little Colorado River Gorge, on top of where the rim is. Not exactly where the rim is, but where the visitor center, where you have the two upper overlooks up in Cameron, Arizona, going out towards Grand Canyon, the first 10 miles when you're at the Cameron roundabout, and then you leave towards to the Grand Canyon on the north side of the rim, I believe. But then as you're going down that way past Cameron, 10 miles down, then you come across to the first overlook, and that's the Little Colorado River, and that comes with two events, which is the half marathon and the 10K race series. A lot of participants come from that local area, and when we establish our presence out there, we start to get community members and also our volunteers. But the best part is that with all these events that we come to, there's schools, local schools, and that is from elementary and middle school. We do presentations involving slideshows, pop quizzes, and it all involves with the programs that we do with Navajo YES, and like the Net Bike Project or Code Talker Project, and we let the kids know from K through 8 or either K through 6, and put all the kids either in the gymnasium or visit individually, classroom by classroom. And what the kids love about it too is that with the 9 events that we have, there is three of those events that we have is called the Kids Marathon, and that was it brings the kids out to the event, but also we give them a mileage log that they would keep with them beside their bed or on the refrigerator or in the restroom, just to keep track of how many miles they do every day. So the idea of that is that they would finish a 26.2 miles, just like how a full marathon is run. And once they have that log, they begin to run it, try to keep track of it, and they either go out with grandma or grandpa to herd sheep, and maybe they would count that, maybe like 5 miles or half a mile, depending on how far they herded the sheep or fed the goats. But anyways, that's the Kids Marathon, and they get a race bib, a T-shirt, and a finisher's medal, and that gives them a little pride that they accomplished something that took miles to get to. And that's just kind of the mentality that you do when you're outside and out there working or going to school. And you got miles along the way, but as you complete it and go to the finish line, then you did a good job, and you get your medal or you get promotion or something like that along your life. But that's just the kids, to have the kids that have a good time. And that's what the Monument Valley Veterans Marathon, the big Shiprock Marathon, and the Nautis on Ultra. And I would like to just give a brief video of the Monument Valley Ultra that was made from a guy named Cody Slim out from Kaibito, Arizona. He is a very good camera guy, and recently he did bought a drone. So I did see that, and that was pretty cool to how he is an avid runner. He runs 13. He's really good at 13 milers, which is a half miler. So he just wanted to come out and help us with this video, and that's his work. So I'm gonna have Eli play that right in a few bit. So this is the Monument Valley Ultra.
So
if you win your age group, you get a $100 gift certificate for the Niner Valley Race Course. And if you win the race, I'm looking forward to seeing you guys out there. Alrighty, are you guys ready?
Hi, this is Reggie again. Back. I'm back again. Hey. So that was this MV Ultra and Monument Valley Ultra. That was Cody Slim again. We had a little issue with the music, but we got that situated. The video and another video I will show real quick, but I just want to touch base on another Ultra, which was part of our Asayat 12-hour race, which is a little bit in the midsummer or late summer, and that kind of comes in with 3 events in that one too. The 12-hour event, you run up in the Asayat Mountain, which is located over by Bull Canyon Recreational Center, and most of you that know it is the Asayat Lake, and also the Sayet cabin, that's kind of, or Sayet camp in that area. 12 hours came out there and does a 2.2 mile up in a single track, and that single track was established by the Boy Scouts of America, or the Boy Scouts. They built it way back in the late 70s and 60s, but it was kept pretty good. And then recently, Navajo YES and a bunch of youth kids came out and reestablished that trail. So that trail is single track and has good signages and a lot of viewpoints up in the mountains. And that's also where you could see the kind of like where the burn happened, the big fire that happened up in the mountains down during that time, or back in a few years back. So the Asayat Mountain Race is also part of that, which is another event. But the 12 hours, don't want to get mixed up. The 12 hours is by itself. So you run 2.2 miles, and then there's 2 other categories, a 6-hour and a 3-hour event. And that one's the 12 hours. And then there's another Asayat Mountain, which is in the summertime. And that one has a 20K and a 10K series. And that one we have multiple help out that one. Both of them we have multiple help, and it's in the mountains, so you have to camp. There's no hotels, no gas, no munchies for food. It kind of has to be prepared and once you go out there. So that's the site. And we have the Natsistan Ultra that I was mentioning, and that's up in Navajo Mountain, Utah, and that's close to the Arizona border. We have 50K up in that community area, and also a 10K. But the 50K goes down into the valley of Navajo Mountain, and you get to see views of Hawkeye Arch. You can see Lake Powell up in the distance. You're like standing on top of a rim, and Lake Powell's like down there. So then as you're making your way back, you cross through canyons, washes, and at the same time, this is a 50-miler. So our ultra events, we could have a very, very large amount of food. You have to have the runners pack up. A lot of these ultra runners too are very well organized. So they come with their own packets and their meals and energy gels. And the ultra runners, we would have to give them a full meal. So the meals that we would have would be like full ramen soup or ramen noodles, and what was the other one? Grilled cheese, and then we have sandwiches, PB&J, and a lot of salties and a lot of fluids for the runners to keep going as they trek along this 50-miler trail. And once they finish, they get all these events. They receive the finisher's medal, and when you register, you get registration T-shirt and the bib, and that's what you get. So I'm just gonna hurry up and go down. But we have the Monument Valley Veterans Marathon, which is a full and a half marathon that does have the kids marathon too. We would visit the kids, do presentations, get them all psyched up for the day, and that's kind of like in the fall season, kind of during the Veterans Week, and that this gives a shout out to the veterans and what they did during their services. And the good thing about it too is that when the kids come out to do the kids marathon, we have a special guest, and that special guest is a World War II veteran. His name is Paul Kircham. Paul Kircham is a World War II veteran, and he fought in the Philippines during the time of World War II, and he got captured and was sent to POW, and there's a movie about it called The Great Raid. I want you to check that out, but that just gives a brief introduction of what happened during the war in the Philippines. And they say that there was a Navajo code talker, but I'm not too sure about that. That was in that POW camp up in the Philippines, but they say the code talkers were very secured, and that they all came back home. But I do know Paul Kircham because we did go out to an event up in close to Alamogardo, which is the White Sands Missile Base, and they have an event called the Battalion Death March. That was the folks that were out there were presenters, and we got to talk to Paul Kircham during a group presentation, and we invited him, and he came to the MV Veterans Marathon. And also we invite the co-talkers like John Kinsel Sr. from Lukachukoy, and also Peter McDonald from Tuba City, and that's just kind of who we invited. The great thing about that too is the veterans that we celebrate, but also we celebrate the co-talkers during the co-talker 29K, which is during the Window Rock Fair parade, or not the parade, but during that whole week we have the co-talker event up on a Sunday, and a lot of runners get to experience not only the entertainment around the whole Window Rock area, but they get to see live co-talkers that are with their families, and they would tell their story and also get autograph or a picture with them. And that was this kind of the 29K was where it came from, the original 29 that were on that were in World War II, that knew the code. And also that's the 29K, and then there's the 10K series, those two. And you get to have a finisher's medal with the co-talker seal and the co-talker portrait kind of like in the back of them. So that's the co-talker 29K, and I'm going to finish off with one last video, which is the Four Corners Quad Kea that was made by the Navajo YES team. But before I do that, I do want to show a t-shirt, I should say. And this is a shirt that has, I don't know if you could see it, but it is the Tour de Res bike series. It is the Tour de Res bike series, and we developed this recently, but the Tour de Res has always been part of the Navajo Nation since the 90s. And the Tour de Res series comes in about 5 events, and they're all mountain biking. This is a mountain biking race, and there is a few folks that did come in with like a bike. It's a half bike and half mountain bike and a half road bike, and you can always do that. But then this comes full mountain bike, and be prepared for nice rocky terrain and single track dirt roads and a lot of miles. So that was the Tour de Res series. You can look it up on NavajoYes.org and check it out. Right now we are doing the events virtual, just to let you know that the stories that I mentioned were kind of before the pandemic started, but that's the story of how Navajo Parks race series. You can also register still for upcoming ones, but that's virtually. And once we do have the green light for live events, we'll give you guys a notice. But other than that, I wanted to just give a quick overview of the Tour de Res series. But there is 5 events in that one, and all mountain bike. And let's go on to the Four Corners Quad Kea video, and that just comes with a four-day race series that consists of each day runners would go full marathon, which is 26.2, or a half marathon, 13.1 miles. And the thing about this is that the runners that do this, they do it for 4 days. So you got 4 events, which is those 4 days you run it in Arizona, Utah, Colorado, and New Mexico. So that's just kind of a brief introduction to that, but the video will kind of explain everything. All right, then, Eli. Hi, that was just this is Reggie again. Just wanted to sign off and then give the mic back to Tom, and that's just Four Corners Quad Kea. So if you guys want to try that out, run 4 days, full marathon or half marathon each day, I bet you can do it. You got time now. You got here until December. That event is up in Four Corners Monument. So that's my presentation. So you guys have a great day, and
All right, G. Give him a hand. Yes, thank you, sir. All right. So we are at the end of the agenda. We're going to turn it over to Mr. Frank Fatt in just a moment for a closing, and we'll be finishing up here at that time. But yeah, it's been a pleasure having you all join us for the last couple of days. I really appreciate everybody who chimed in and with questions, feedback, comments. Again, just a reminder, if you are interested in connecting, you can find us on Facebook, facebook.com/Navajo YES, or Chuskaman, CHUSKAMAN @yahoo.com. NavajoYes.org for the website. Just check it out and keep in touch. And let's keep this wellness revolution going. It's great times on the Navajo Nation right now. We've got the leadership behind this, obviously, the grassroots communities. People are really fired up and looking to stay well and to stay healthy. And COVID's going to be in the rearview mirror here soon, and moving on to some better days ahead. So let's keep our heads up and keep moving toward that brighter future. So, all right, at this point, we're going to turn it over to Mr. Frank Fatt. Frank is a great friend and a wonderful gentleman, originally from Paiute Mesa, Natsasan, Utah, and he's going to just share a few words and a blessing for us to close out this afternoon session. So, Frank Fatt, the floor is yours, brother.
The floor is yours, brother.
Yate Tom.
Good
afternoon. Good afternoon, everyone. Been introduced. She look at the nation. She bashin. Thodich ni tashnal dot Islam tashi. Todi kwa bayatat kida bashitlojo toba Jensen. I'm happy that you guys are doing this, having this conference, and I'm able to hear about certain things that I had questions before. I build more understanding of how everything works. So I thank all the presenters. Thank everybody for presenting and everybody for participating. I thank everybody too. I'm just going to share a song that's probably going to be as a prayer. Besa hojo te nana tongoya. 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 Besa hojo halawai neya kasis na cheye. Besa hojo te kato te jete. Besa hojo te nana tongoya. Besa hojo te kasa anagay tabeke hojo. Besa hojo te nana tongoya. Besa hojo halay neya kato te siye. Hojo te kato te jete. Besa hojo te nana tongoya. Besa hojo te nana tongoya. Besa hojo halay neya kato ko slitiye. Besa ho jo te kati chese chese. Besa ho jo te tisa na tawaya. Besa ho jo halawai. Neya kasa anawai tabeke ho jo neye. Besa ho jo te tisa na tawaya. Besa ho jo halawai. Neya kasa pene taye. Besa ho jo te tabashene chese. Besa ho jo te tisa tawaya. Besa ho jo halai. Neya kasa anawai tabeke ho jo neye. Besa ho jo te tisa tawaya. Besa ho jo halai. Neya kasa ho te seye. Besa ho jo te kayo te seye. Besa ho jo te tisa tawaya. Besa ho jo halai. Neya kasa anawai tabeke ho jo neye. Besa ho jo te tisa tawaya. Besa ho jo halai. Neya kasa cho neye. Besa ho jo te ane te seye. Besa ho jo te tisa tawaya. Besa ho jo halai. Neya kasa anawai tabeke ho jo neye. Besa ho jo te tisa tawaya. Besa ho jo tisa tawaya. Besa ho jo te tisa tawaya. Besa ho jo te tisa tawaya. Besa ho jo kodamana. So that's the song that I want to share. It's like mountain sounds. It's singing about the four sacred mountains that we live in the Navajo country, and also the mountains are happy. So the way I look at it is these planning that you're doing for trails and running and all that stuff makes the Mother Earth happy, and the mountains are happy. That's the way I see it. So that would be my conclusion to thank everybody for being. I hope everybody learned something from it. All the words that you guys share and all the teaching you guys share. That's all I have to say. I'll go on that.